today we're talking about CrossFit. I'm a little sweaty. It's the day after July 4th, and I just got done with a CrossFit workout once again. And many people ask me, well, Patrick, why do you do CrossFit? And they say, why? It's so hard. Like, why do you keep doing it? And there's a reason I keep doing it. See, I'm not perfect. I don't claim myself to be as perfect. Sure, I broke the binge eating cycle. Sure, I've got a system to thrive. I've got a system I created to get you from breaking the binge eating cycle to living a new way. I have a pathway I've created, and it works. It's successful. I've had people go through it. But I'm not perfect. In no shape or form do I even claim that I'm perfect. And in fact, when I wake up in the morning, a lot of times I have these stories that show up that keep me paralyzed and keep me stuck. We all do, and it's real for me too. And so what happens is I know what I need on a daily basis is a pattern interrupt. I need to interrupt my state. I need to interrupt the state that I'm currently in, because I know this. I cannot be here and available for my children or my wife or my students in my programs. I can't be clear and present if I'm in a state that is not serving me, that will not serve them. So I do CrossFit and use it as a pattern interrupt to really interrupt my mind and allow me to just break down the beliefs and the patterns in my mind that are holding me back. Because when I do that physically with myself, what I find is that it applies into my life, into my mind, into my body. It applies into my relationships with my kids, with my family. It starts applying into my relationships with you. It applies in my relationship with other people. All simply because I was able to battle my mind in my physical body. And so this pattern interrupt, this is what I teach in my programs and my students, is the first thing that we must do as soon as we start working together. We need a massive pattern interrupt so we can get out of the current state and current reality that we're in to create a new reality. And so, what's up, Mary? So in order to do this for me on a daily basis, it's CrossFit. It's that massive pattern interrupt in my mind so that I can win in my body, so I can win in the rest of the day. Now for you, you're coming to a place right now, possibly, that you might feel like you're stuck in whatever emotional eating that you're stuck in. It might be binge eating. It might be a food addiction that you're struggling with, that you can't seem to get out of. And look, I get it. I get it. But here's what I do know, and I want you to consider this. I want you to consider that the only way out of that breaking of the cycle begins with a pattern interrupt. It begins with an interruption of the mind. You see, what I want you to consider is that if you don't interrupt the mind and you go online to YouTube, or you go online and you get into a program to help you stabilize your current condition. I'm not saying in any realms it's not going to help you, but what I am saying is that if your mind is in a place where you don't even believe that you deserve to be successful and overcome binge eating, and you don't have a massive pattern interrupt that is shifting your current reality and state, then you're going to stay exactly where you are if you don't change that state and that belief, that driving belief and story that's actually keeping you stuck. And I know this to be true because I've worked with over 100 people this year alone, and my students in my programs, and I've seen this time over time and time again, is that we're able to rapidly take somebody from some type of depression or just feelings of stuck and hopelessness to a place of thriving in a matter of even 7 days, because we're able to just interrupt the mind first and interrupt the patterns that's going on inside of them. So I really want you to consider that though there's a lot of amazing programs out there, a lot of amazing things to do that can and do absolutely work, if the mind is not clear and you're in a place of being stuck on these thoughts and stories and ideas that this is how it is and you don't believe you deserve it. Again, I'm recapping all this for you. Then what happens is that you stay where you are. That makes sense. I hope that makes sense. If it does make sense, I want you to put below inside this video number 1. So my daily perspective today is you cannot change to get what you want in the current state that you're in. You cannot change to get what you want in the current state that you're currently in. So to create that new identity of what you want, you must change your state first. And sure, yes, it doesn't have to be CrossFit. It could be simply as getting out of the car and jumping up and down and just changing some energy. You know, I was at a conference last week in Orlando, and our teacher, awesome teacher named Chad, one of my coaches, he had us change our state, and what he had us do was go on top of the table and stand up and put our arms in the air. And that raises your vibration. It raises your state of being. And so it doesn't matter what you do to change your state. What I do know is that when you do change your state, you can change and shift your reality and thoughts to focus on what you actually want. Okay? So my challenge for you today is this, and I want you to take this challenge, is I want you to pick one thing that you can do to change your state. Like, what's one thing today that you can do to change your state? And it could be, literally, I'm getting out of my car here. I'm out here at Vitamin Shop, about to go with my kids. But it could be, there's a Subway. It could be as simple as moving your energy around. Like moving your energy around and shifting your state. Brendon Burchard, I don't know if you know who he is. He's a very well-known motivational speaker. One of the things I learned from him is to just move in place. Move in place. And it starts to shift your state and shifts your identity of who you are in that moment. And that's why, again, I do CrossFit. And so my challenge for you is simply let me get back in my car, is in order to get what you want and to break that pattern of binge eating, it starts with changing your state. I do know that, and I know that. And so what I want you to do, again, is pick one thing that you can do today to change your state. Hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, I want to hear from you. Just go down right below, comment below, and answer the question, what is the biggest insight? What revelation are you taking away from this video that you can apply, that you're going to apply, or that you're going to do differently? Comment below right now. Then give me one of those like buttons. Click the like button right over there and subscribe to get more videos just like this. Now let me ask you a question. Do you want to break the binge eating cycle? I want you to imagine what it would be like on the other side of life beyond the cycle. And that's why I've got some free gifts for you. Some free gifts, a 5-step action guide that I'm going to teach you how to break the binge eating cycle with these 5 specific steps so that you can learn how to break it and then live a new way. Just go down right below right now. The free gift is waiting for you, amongst other free gifts you can get right now below. And I look forward to seeing you again soon in the next video.